Okay, we're going to be taking a look at a pretty basic dish that's an American favorite, and that's scrambled eggs. I tell you what, you wake up in the morning and smell some freshly cooked eggs, maybe with some hickory smoked bacon and toast, and it's a great way to start your day. So I'm going to go ahead and crack open a couple of eggs here and get started. You can either use jumbo or extra large eggs. And I'm also going to set the temperature on my stove to just below medium. The reason I cook on such a low level is because the biggest mistake I think a lot of people make is they cook their eggs on too high a temperature. They overcook the eggs. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pepper grinder. I'm going to add some freshly ground pepper to my eggs and just add a little bit more just where we have all the eggs covered. And the next thing I'm going to add is I'm going to add some sea salt. Now I like to use sea salt because it's a little bit healthier than normal salt. You don't have to add quite as much of it in order to get the same flavoring that you get out of adding more regular salt. Now my secret ingredient is cilantro flakes. Now, a lot of people like to add different things to their eggs. A lot of people will use stuff like hot sauce maybe, or seasoning salt. Those are all well and good as well. But my personal favorite is adding cilantro flakes. It just gives it kind of that little extra kick, and I think it's kind of what I like to do to my eggs to kind of make them my own and make them unique. Now, what I'm using here is I'm using a hand mixer as opposed to a fork or a spoon or something like that to mix up the eggs. And the reason that I'm doing that is as I'm mixing up the eggs here, you'll see kind of a froth almost build in the eggs mixture. And the reason that we want that is because what you're actually doing with the whisk attachments on your hand mixer is you're adding air to the eggs. And by doing that, it gives it that light and fluffy taste that we're looking for. Now, if you don't have a hand mixer, you obviously can still use a fork or a spoon, but I really recommend getting one because they really help to bring out the flavor of the eggs. So we're going to go ahead and butter up our pan here real quick, and I like to add my butter in specific increments. I basically, for each jumbo or extra large egg that I have, I add about 1 millimeter of butter, and that's how much butter I use in the pan to properly flavor the eggs, because you don't want eggs that are overly buttered, and you obviously don't want eggs that are under buttered so that they stick to the pan. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up actually cooking the eggs here, and you can see how it takes a little bit extra time. I'd say my average eggs take probably 3 to 5 minutes in order to cook. And what the eggs need is they need TLC during this time period. I'm not talking about tender loving care. I'm talking about T is for time, L is for the look of the eggs, and then C is for the color. So you're keeping an eye on all those things, and you're also continuing to mix them. And you might see that I'm going back and forth through the eggs, back and forth, and all this, almost this crisscrossing action. And that's because I'm trying to prevent the eggs from getting that sheet kind of look to them, you know, like kind of like an egg McMuffin or something like that, where they're like formed to a specific pattern or something like that. And that's primarily because these are called scrambled eggs. They're not egg McMuffin eggs. And that's what your finished eggs are going to look like. I'm sure you're going to absolutely love them. You notice there's just a little bit of a gleam to them, and that's when you know how to take them off. So when your eggs just have that little bit of gleam left, that's when you know they're done. And I hope you enjoyed watching CJ's Cravings. And obviously, for more information on my recipes, you can visit my website that's listed in this video's information.